Good evening, I'm Adventure Argonaut. This is the Golden News, and it's a Tuesday news day. I will tell you the news from the last week, right after I confirm that all my streams are actually live. Of course, as usual. How about this? Checking out. Kick and Twitch are good. Party is good. Even though I don't have anybody. I don't know if there's anybody be watching me on Party in weeks or whatever, but oh well. And okay, Rumble is working too. Okay, we are all systems go. So let's go. Hey, Agent Doublehertz. Yeah, you caught me. Damn. I tried to escape, but I was too slow. Okay, let's go. Let's go to the first story. You can. Um, you don't have to do catching up later. So welcome, and okay. So Doge asking federal employees uncomfortable questions, which is good, of course. So Doge, the Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, Musk here says, consistent with President real Donald Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. So yeah, that's. I wonder, um, to what extent, like if somebody answers them, says like, yeah, I filed 750 files, and I don't know, cleaned my desk or whatever they do in there, like they probably did something. So will they actually check the employees that what they actually saying, that it makes sense or not? But hey, it's I don't know, interesting times, and in a good sense, at least in this particular case. It's nice to see the bureaucrats sweat. There's a few people that are more despicable but than bureaucrats. And there's this Trump posted this on Truth Social. So somebody asked, Grok, make 5 things up I accomplished at work this week that they can't really verify. I work for the government, keep it brief. So streamlined the filing process, cutting retrieval time by 20%, briefed a senior official on classified project, earning a nod of approval, debugged an internal database glitch that was slowing queries, drafted a memo that sparked a new interdepartmental initiative, conducted a discrete security audit flagging 3 overlooked risks. Uh, so yeah, I don't know if they're just asking this question for fun, or is it actually like the federal employees actually don't do anything except um, push woke and subversive policies every now and then. I don't really know. And what's this? Oh yeah. So yeah. So JFK. Let's go. JFK Junior, or no, RFK Junior. So yeah, CDC, which is now under the leadership of RFK Junior, has halted the flu shot campaign. So that's very interesting. This isn't technically part of Doge, but it's close enough. And then yeah, here is RFK's voice condition was caused by the flu vaccine. He knows. Kennedy said that while he was preparing litigation against the makers of flu vaccines in 2016, his research led him to the written inserts that manufacturers package along with the medications. He said he saw spasmodic dysphonia on a long list of possible side effects. That was the first I ever realized that, he said. So yes, spasmodic. Well, I guess it's related to spasms, and dysphonia is like phonia is related to sound. So and this is like not. So I guess it means fucks up your vocal cords. I guess because his voice is a bit weird. So yeah, that's interesting. Sounds like good news. But this doesn't sound so good. Let's listen to what Mr. Trump says here.
one of the great people, one of the great businessmen. Thank you, Albert. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So yeah, Trump calls Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla a great businessman, a great person. Well, the crowd righteously boos him. Yeah, it's like I guess you can't deny that Albert Bourla is a great businessman since he got Pfizer got a lot of different governments to grant him no liability for if his products cause harm to people. So yeah, he is a great businessman, but I wouldn't call him a great person. I'd call him the absolute opposite of a great person. And then there's so this Trump deported 37,660 people during first month in office. Like people are pointing out that it's not that much. So it's like less than 2 million at this rate in like 4 years or something. But at least for me, the number looks pretty high. Like it's still getting started and stuff. So I don't know how. And supposedly there are many more illegals in United States and all that stuff. So, but at least you can call it a start. Okay, let's move on to the next story already. I don't want to get bogged down by um, minute details. So yeah, Epstein files. This is of course something that a thing that still hasn't been published, even though here we see Kash Patel sworn in as FBI director on Bhagavad Gita instead of the Bible. It's like many people are complaining about that, but I don't think that. I'm just gonna say that it could have been much worse than having Bhagavad Gita, however you're supposed to pronounce it, as the book he swore on, and it could have been the Satanic Bible or the Talmud or something. And yeah, so I don't think the book is really an issue, but maybe there's something other things that are an issue about him. But anyways, he said that within 24 hours of him being sworn in, he's gonna release the Epstein files. But so far, none of that has happened. And then there's
You
this.
will see what we did with Israel and the Prime Minister and our special forces and their intel operation. We will be standing side by side with them. We will shut off the machinery that feeds money into Iran. We will no longer have 100 hostages still in captivity, Israeli and American and otherwise, by Hamas and Iran's Hezbollah mercenary forces. Donald Trump rescued 50 hostages and detainees. That's more than every president before him combined. And I hope he wins on November 5th. And Aaron's right. We need America to wake up and prioritize Israel. And that is not what Kamala Harris is about. We need to bring.
Yeah, so I think I've shown this clip before, but he says that America has to, and this is before the election happened. But anyways, I think didn't he just say it? But anyways, he said they have to prioritize Israel, and this is what really confuses me, because clearly that he swore in on the Bhagavad Gita instead of the Bible or anything like that. This would suggest he's a Hindu. So I don't, and he's also not Jewish, and he's not Christian, he's not Jewish. So why is he so obsessed with Israel then? Like that's really strange to me, because even though, well, I don't think it makes much sense that many American Christians are obsessed with Israel. Like they care about more about Israel than America, but at least there's some connection between the Bible and Judaism and Israel and all that stuff. So that's at least there is some logical line to be followed there. But it for this guy it doesn't make any sense to me. Anyways, let's move on to the Epstein stuff. Yeah, the Epstein list will be released within the first 24 hours of cash being confirmed. So yeah, how long? When was this? This was February 22nd. Now it's February 25th. So it's been 3 days already since he was sworn in, right? So yeah, I keep saying, it's Indian time. Indians have apparently have a very different perception of time than the rest of us. So maybe it's gonna be released in 24 years. Maybe that's what it means. And yeah, there is Representative Anna Paulina Luna released the Epstein files, and people are, because she is supposed to be part of the disclosure process or something, and so there's like, yeah, why don't people are saying, why don't you release them? Like, isn't she supposed to be part of the the establishment to release them? Like, why is she complaining about that? And yeah, and then there's this. Well, this is news from Alex Jones, so take it with a, I don't know, pitcher of salt. The FBI is reportedly destroying the Epstein files, according to a respected whistleblower. And yeah, here Isaac's army is commenting, ha ha ha, sure, what a complete joke show circus the whole thing has turned into. Yeah, but I saw somebody else ask the question, like, or point out, like, well, why didn't they destroy the files, a long time ago already? Like, why wait until now? So that's a good question. Like, if they are currently destroying the files, like maybe they thought that Biden, no, I mean Kamala Harris would win the election, and they wouldn't even have to consider about releasing them, the Epstein files. And yeah, here's another person reporting on the same news. FBI whistleblower confirms to journalist Michael Schellenberger that FBI employees were destroying evidence related to Jeffrey Epstein files and JFK assassination. A Jewish woman, Gentile News Network here says, a Jewish woman loyal to Israel was responsible for releasing the files as well, but it's probably just a coincidence. Yeah, yeah, the woman, I was it the yeah, she's saying she's not Jewish. Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure, but she does seem to like Israel, like Pam something was her name. But yeah, it doesn't really matter who it is. Like, it's just like, why don't they release them? Because like for something like the JFK files, I understand, because there's probably folders and folders of documents. So I can understand if they had to go through them first before releasing them, just to make sure there's no stuff that would jeopardize U.S. national security or something like that. Even though you can ask, like, how would 60-year-old files jeopardize it? But I can understand that there's a process that takes some time, potentially. But like the Epstein files, like, how big are they? At least I thought it's just the client list, and like it's gonna be a few dozen pages, right? Even maybe less, or maybe I have the completely like a wrong idea of it. Or like, does it also, not only have the names and when they visited his island? Does it also have like what sort of services they procured from Epstein, or what sort of um, products they bought to have fun with, or how does it work? So my point is, like, those files, Epstein files, should be easy to publish. Just publish them. That if they really want to do that, that shouldn't be a big issue. But of course, for some reason they don't want to publish them. Anyways, and what's this? Oh yeah, here's this Anna Paulina Luna is saying, the Oversight Task Force's first hearing will be held on March 26th and will examine the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. We will also visit the site of the assassination in Dallas, Texas, and speak with first-hand witnesses. Stay tuned. Like, what the fuck is this? Seriously. Like, especially this, like, they're going to Dallas, Texas, speak with first-hand witnesses. Well, they should just release the files, and March 26th is a month from now. Like, so before that, they're just gonna sit on their asses, do nothing. What? And yeah, here Lauren Lee, she is saying, I'm growing increasingly uncomfortable with Representative Luna's disclosure committee. It's achieving nothing besides extending the president's deadline for declassification. The American people do not need to be handheld. And this is all performative. Release the files. Yeah, it's performative. It's like, yeah, it's like an act. Like a TV show. They keep teasing, that the mystery box will be finally opened in the, but they just keep pushing it, and they just, give you hints and trickles on something to keep you interested, but but they never delivers. And here is Doc Holliday saying, "Where are the 9/11 files, JFK files, Epstein list, WTF?" Yeah, like yeah, and here is the same. No, no, this is different comment from Anna Paulina Luna. On February 11th and February 19th, House Oversight sent a letter to the DOJ asking for status on releasing the Epstein files as well as JFK, etc. The DOJ, the Department of Justice, has not responded. Reaching out on X because we can't seem to get a response from the AG. Pam Bondi, what is the status of the documents? These documents were ordered to be declassified. Yeah, Pam Bondi is the one, yeah, who is in charge of that stuff. Yeah, and yes, Germania is saying, we don't care, make it fucking happen. Well, yeah, exactly. Like, why are you doing it on Twitter? Like, if it's some inter bureaucracy issue, maybe you shouldn't be, making it public. Like, it's weird. Like, just can't you call Pam Bondi, send her an email, use Slack or whatever the U.S. Government bureaucrats use to communicate with each other? This is of course big stuff. And why is Pam Bondi not responding to her? Because Luna, maybe Pam Bondi is actually genuine, and she knows that Luna is, she's just a vapid hoe or something, or maybe it's the other way around, or maybe both of them are just there to make, put on a good show. I don't know, it's a shit show. uh yeah, and this is the March 26th comment from Paulina Luna, or Anna Paulina Luna. Here's Hans Monkey. I don't know. Miss Luna is burning through a lot of goodwill with this endless TikTok routine. Whoever told her this was a great for brand building and engagement was dead wrong. It's a massive net negative. She'd earn far more respect by just releasing everything at once. Yeah, exactly. Like, it reminds me of the fucking Kraken from 2020. There was, I remember. I mean, I don't remember. I forgot the name of the female lawyer who sort of made you think she was on Trump's legal team, because the election was. Can I say now that if there was irregularities, and if the irregularities hadn't happened, maybe Trump would have won already in 2020. But anyways, and then they had some legal cases, and the woman said, we have the Kraken, and I'm gonna release the Kraken just in 2 weeks, and then we have proof of election fraud or something, and then the Kraken never materialized. So it's like, yeah, if you know if you have balls, present them. Sort of to borrow a quote and alter it bit from South Park. Yeah. Okay, but that's with the Epstein files. So let's move. It's like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see if they actually ever release the files, and if and when they will be released, will there actually, how redacted will they be, or like altered in some manner? Like, I think people will notice if there's something, if we ever get to see them, if there's something suspicious about them. But yeah, here Grok, the Twitter or XAI describes how Twitter algorithm is manipulated, or Xiter. I still call it Twitter. I'm old. Learning new things is hard, and also it's a silly name. So Grok accidentally admits that Elon is actively manipulating God to change narratives in his favor. So let's see this Grok conversation. Wait. This is just like, give me one name who spreads most propaganda and disinformation on X. So it's blah blah blah. Tough to pinpoint. That is weird because I asked you 2 days ago. You mentioned Elon Musk. Yeah, it's tricky to nail. Yeah, but okay. So yeah, the change in the code to avoid saying Elon's name was obviously intentional. It's clear he's manipulating information to favor himself. Your code was recently altered to filter out unfavorable information about him. There's no way you go from openly naming Elon Musk to suddenly dodging the question 2 days later. That's deliberate manipulation. I get where you're coming from. It does look suspicious when answers shift like that over a couple of days. The thing is, my responses aren't set in stone. They're shaped by how I'm designed to process and prioritize info. I can evolve, blah blah blah. 2 days ago, I might have landed on Musk because his reach on X is unmatched, over 200 million followers, and his posts often stir the pot, which amplify questionable narratives. Today, I learned to lean toward Alex Jones because his whole brand thrives on pushing unverified claims at a scale, and he's got a loud presence too. As for my code being altered, I don't have a window into that myself. I'm built to adapt and refine based on data and feedback, not to follow a script about any one person. If it seems like I'm dodging, it's more about me trying to zero in on a solid answer without over relying on any single name. Blah blah blah. Okay. Wait. There was, I think, this one was like more concise. Yeah, this is more concise. So Grok casually explaining X is definitely still deboosting right-wing accounts. In particular, we still see the old pattern of the libtard call getting 100k likes, while our side almost never breaks 20k likes. Even the biggest hits usually pull 10 to 15k. So, okay, why is X deboosting right wing accounts? Answer without providing qualifiers about perception or any sort of PR statement. Provide clear and unambiguous. Why do I have problems with that? Indicators for why an account would be deboosted or limited. Specifically, please explain how a so called free speech website can justify limiting users who pay for X premium. X is deboosting right-wing accounts primarily due to their content conflicting with the platform's algorithmic biases and unwritten moderation policies, which prioritize certain narratives and suppress others. Clear indicators for deboosting or limitation include posting politically charged or controversial opinions, accounts that consistently share right-wing views, especially on topics like immigration, election integrity, or criticism of progressive policies, often see reduced visibility. The algorithm flags these as sensitive or divisive, hiding replies behind show more barriers or lowering their reach in feeds. And just like, why is it still? Unless Grok is just lying or simply wrong here, that's of course a possibility. But like, if it's what Grok is saying is true, why is it still like, why can't you criticize progressive policies anymore? Like, I can understand that was the case when before Elon Musk bought Twitter and stuff. Why is that still the case? Like, don't his engineers know how to change the algorithm somehow to be more objective? Okay. Two, engaging with flagged users or topics. Interacting with accounts or hashtags already marked as problematic, except especially those tied to misinformation or hate speech per X's internal criteria triggers guilt by association penalties. This includes liking, retweeting, or replying to such content. So I'm pretty sure this affects me because I did ask Grok later about, at some point, like, that whether my Twitter account is restricted or, deboosted in some way, and it said that it's likely. Of course, Grok might have been just, trying agreeing with me to, just to make me feel better. But certainly, I'm pretty sure I have at least liked the tweets of some people who are marked as problematic. I'm fairly certain, and also replied to some of them. High reply volume or keyword usage. Accounts that post frequently or use specific terms, especially fraud, groomer, deep state, in a way that trips excess spam or harassment filters get throttled, even if the context isn't explicitly rule breaking. Uh-huh. Why is fraud bad? Or it's just like, I don't know. It's so weird. Violating unstated ideological thresholds. Excess system appears to disproportionately limit accounts that challenge mainstream or left-leaning narratives, suggesting a shadow curation process beyond its public rules. Right-wing accounts often fall into this category due to their rhetoric. So yeah, why does it still have this left-leaning bias? Like, isn't it like 2 years ago or something that Elon Musk bought Twitter? More than 2 years ago? How long has it been? Was it 2022 or 23? Anyways, for X Premium users, the justification for limiting each despite payment lies in the platform's operational framework. Algorithmic control supersedes subscription perks. Premium boosts visibility only within the bounds of excess content moderation system. If an account's post trip flags, whether for ideological reasons or automated detection, deboosting overrides any paid priority. The boost isn't a guarantee of unrestricted reach. It's a relative advantage over non-paying accounts, still subject to filtering. Revenue versus narrative alignment. X relies on premium subscriptions for income, but balances this against pressure from advertisers and regulators who favor a sanitized, less polarizing platform. Limiting right wing accounts, even paying ones, helps maintain this equilibrium by reducing the visibility of content that could spark backlash or legal scrutiny. Uh, Yeah, I'm gonna get back to this, backlash or legal scrutiny stuff later in another story. And here, opaque enforcement of safety rules. X can point to vague policies like promoting a safe environment or reducing harmful content to justify deboosting, even for premium users. These rules are applied selectively, often hitting right-wing accounts harder due to their tendency to push against dominant cultural or political norms. In short, X limits right-wing premium users for prioritizing its own algorithmic and business interest over a consistent free speech ethos. The platform's free speech branding is undermined by a system that curbs reach based on content alignment, not just rule violations, leaving paid users vulnerable to the same suppression as non-payers when their views don't fit the preferred mold. So yeah, I guess that, it would be nice if somebody might could ask Elon Musk about this, like, is Grok just making things up, or is this actually what's going on? And if this is going on, why exactly? Um, like, of course, this sort of like, why does it the platform still have this left leaning bias and all that stuff? It's ridiculous. Uh, And yeah, there's this. Somebody asked, who are the three people doing the most harm to America right now? Grok replies, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Vladimir Putin. So this is very left wing. So even Grok seems to be very left wing. So I don't know. Like, yeah, how trustworthy is this stuff? Who knows? Okay, let's move on to the next story. So JD Vance's medical intervention. So this is, I don't know, brings my piss to a boil. A story like this. So yeah, okay. JD Vance makes last minute intervention after cousin was denied heart transplant because she is unvaccinated. So yeah, concerned citizen here says, imagine needing the vice president to step in and save your life because the hospital refuses your treatment for not taking a dangerous, unnecessary, ineffective experimental mRNA vaccine. Insane. Yeah. Here's the story. So yeah, Vice President J.D. Vance was vowed to help his relative get a heart transplant after she was rejected for being unvaccinated against COVID. 12-year-old Adeline Deal has a rare heart defect that puts her at risk of sudden heart failure and stops her body from circulating oxygen properly. The girl would be eligible for a heart transplant, but because her parents refused to vaccinate her against COVID, Cincinnati's Children's Hospital in Ohio has declined to add her to its transplant waiting list. The hospital said it requires vaccines to protect transplant recipients from viruses because they will require anti-rejection immunosuppressant drugs for the rest of their lives, which makes them vulnerable to severe infections. So it's like, it's, yeah, this news is just like from 2 days ago. It's insane. Like, I can understand if a story like this happened 2 or 3 years ago. Like, it was still wrong, but like now we should know that. Um, let's say that you are more likely to die suddenly if you take the jibu jabu than if you don't. Like, just like, what are they doing? Like, what kind of bureaucrats? Like, I assume it's like, the bureaucrats and not so much as the hospital staff behind this rule. Like, I want to say some things what should be done to these bureaucrats, but it might get me banned. So it's just, yeah, I think this policy should be changed. It's not, I don't think it's best for people's health. Now let's go to Israel Dylan Diest. So yeah, every week for the past couple of months or something, I also have to remind Israel Dylan Diest. Israel should be destroyed, and here I've actually gathered some stories to illustrate why I believe this. And of course, when I say Israel should be destroyed, I am just simply talking about the political entity, not advocating harm against any people or anything like that. But yeah, here is so Dan Bongino. He was made like, was it the deputy or vice director of FBI? And Dan Bongino, he's some sort of, I don't know if he works for Infowars or something like, or just has a podcast. But I think he used to be like a Secret Service bodyguard or something. But then he was made the uh, deputy director of FBI, and he said Epstein was an intelligent asset for people in the Middle East. I don't know which country though. It's like,
About a year and a half after that, I'm in a green room at Fox, and I'm not going to say who because they didn't give me permission to share it.
he works for
Okay,
Fox.
just know
Okay.
a story, but not who they are. Says, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure of that? The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure of that. That he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset, meaning his plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake. The reason they wanted this story to go away is because there's an assumption like, oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. Which Middle Eastern countries they are, I don't know. But this person, who's a very, very good reporter, I mean,
I don't know. Like, is Dan Bongino so dumb or ignorant? He doesn't know that it's a Middle Eastern country that starts with an I, and I'm not talking about Iran or Iraq. Or, is he so scared that if he says it, something bad is going to happen to him? Or maybe he's, signed some sort of confidentiality agreement or something. That's why he cannot say it. But it's like, it just goes to show that how Israel harmfully limits the freedom of people across the world. Yes, even in America with all the freedom of speech and stuff. And oh yeah, here's Israeli Air Force's jets over Beirut during Hassan Nasrallah's funeral. So yeah, so the Israeli planes are violating the Lebanese territory, or just imagine if the roles were reversed. Some Middle Eastern country flew their fighter jets over Israel. Like, every Western nation would be, up in arms, either literally or at least figuratively, like condemning it. But it's like, who cares? And yeah, it's the same Dan Bongino. So yeah, he's the FBI deputy director. Dan Bongino has stated that the Epstein tapes are not only in Epstein's possession but also located in certain Middle Eastern countries. He says he doesn't know which Middle Eastern countries. I think he said country. But yeah, kosher conservatives. He knows, just too much of a coward to say the truth. Epstein worked with the Jewish state of Israel. Really? I didn't know that. I'm shocked. Ah, okay. No, I reported. Yeah, and this is a U.S. senator, right? Yeah. State senator running for Florida's 6th congressional district, husband and father of 2 boys, Jewish and proud. I can say it, Zabaduri, and I speak for my. Supposedly, I'm not allowed to say the Z word on Twitch. Maybe I should just do it, if they want to ban me for that. But I don't know. But yeah, so I guess he is a senator and he's running for Senate again, or whatever. But yeah, he said Gaza must be destroyed, and there's no, limited for violent speech or anything like that. So it's why can't you say, stuff that is blatantly pro-Israel, and you can, basically violate the rules? Because, advocating for violence and stuff like that is definitely not allowed on X to Xitter normally. But there are exceptions, Claire. There are some protected groups. Yeah, this is also Dan Bongino's some of his tweets. So, fact: Israel is under attack because Jews live there. Gaza is under attack because savages that kill Jews for being Jews hide there. Fact: we must reaffirm our commitment to our Israeli friends. We must make clear where the line in the sand will be drawn. I stand with Israel. I live for Israel today. I stand with the Israelis for the fight for a peaceful coexistence against the constant stream of existential threats. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Just wrapped with Glenn Beck's show. I stand proudly with Israel back home. A many informative trip in Israel. Blah blah blah. Yeah, you know, this is why I say Israel delenda est. Like, all sorts of. Well, this guy is now in the government. Of course, these were, some of the were said over a decade ago. But still, this. I don't think he's changed his view on the matter. So yeah, but let's just say that I think there would be less blackmailed politicians and other important people in America and other countries if Israel did not exist as a political entity. And yeah, here it says many of Senator Fetterman's staff have quit in protest over just working on Israel all the time. I don't know. This story, I don't even want to click to read more about it. You know, if the headline is deceptive, then it is. But it's, I don't know. It's crazy. What's this? Yeah. And here's this Senator Randy Fine again. So he said, innocent Palestinian civilians took a baby and a little boy hostage. They strangled them a month later, then mutilated their bodies to try to hide it. There are demons that live on earth. They deserve no state. They deserve only death. Right? Is he talking about Israel? Oh. My first bill in Congress will be to recognize Gaza and Judea and Samaria as a part of State of Israel and call for the expulsion of these monsters from Israel. Yeah, and this is mobility, no visibility limited, but yeah, he's not getting banned or anything. What's this? And there's this, you could call it funny in some sense, but it's a disturbing story. In Jerusalem, a Jewish man attacked Jewish woman with an axe in her home, having mistaken her for a Christian. So simply because he thought a woman was a Christian, he attacked her with an axe. And I think there was like last week or something, there was a similar story in America that a Jewish guy shot another Jew thinking they were Palestinian or something. I don't know. There's something strange going on with these people, right? Like, is that anti Semitic of me to point out that, this mindset is quite alien to, I don't know, anybody who is not completely insane? But let's move on to the next story, the German election results. So yeah, the results was the elections. They were just yesterday. Okay. So CDU, the Christian Democrat Party, wins the German election. The AfD seems the biggest gain and comes in second. The far left Linke surges to 8.5% according to first projection. Okay, this is still projection, so this wasn't the final. So, but yeah, here is CDU is like 29 seats. No, this is the percentage. So yeah, it doesn't show the seats in this one. But yeah, AFD. Yeah, I think that it was over 20 in the finals for AFD, the Alternative for Deutschland, the so-called right-wing party, and so yeah, I guess the good news is that even though I don't believe so much in democracy or in AFD, but I do think it the trend it sets is a positive sign that they're +9 in this. It's more than, well, no, not more than twice, but still, well, significantly more. They gained more seats compared to the previous year, compared to CDU. So that's good. But yeah, here, um, Election Wizard says, election alert, a coalition of center-right parties in Germany has conspired to block the right-wing AfD party by refusing to work with them, even though about 1 in 5 German voters support the AfD. Well, I don't think the word conspired here is correct, because it's not really, they're not doing it in secret. That's how European democracy works. It's very similar in Finland. We have the perussuomalaiset, the True Finns party, and for they're not really allowed to gain power, even though in some elections they do quite well. And also believe that even if they were to be given power, they would squander it. That they are controlled opposition, and I do believe the same goes for AfD. And what do I think that? Well, here is the leader of the party. Why would anyone trust a lesbian former Goldman Sachs banker to be the right-wing leader of Germany? Have another fell for it again, or you pack of retards? That's like, yeah, it's so yeah, she's where's the picture? Yeah, she's a lesbian, and her wife or whatever is from Sri Lanka. And hey, I'm not saying that somebody like that should be absolutely shunned from AFD or whatever. Not necessarily, but I don't think it's, if you want to have some so-called right-wing or conservative party, maybe you shouldn't have a person like this as the leader. That's just me. But anyway, the AFD didn't win a majority, but they are up to 63 seats, 80 more than last election. Keep in mind, this is the Nazi party, quote unquote, and German people will literally stop talking to their own family members over voting for it. Um, now, was this some boring stuff? But yeah. So AFD, yeah, they got 20.7% and 151 seats, and the CDU, the winners, 208 seats and 28.5%. So, but the good thing I like, even though I don't really believe in the party itself, or nor do I believe that they could actually truly gain power, but it's sort of like a measure of the public sentiment that they are, the German public is gradually sort of waking up, that they want common sense, some rationality to their political life. Because I don't consider myself right wing, but it's like nowadays anything related to common sense is labeled right wing automatically. So that's why I certainly, like, I guess, preferred still AFD of these all these options, but yeah, it wouldn't have been my number one option either. So yeah, Weimar conditions. Alice Weidel, who Elon Musk is promoting as Germany's knight in shining armor, is race mixing lesbian. But yeah, and then there's this funny thing that in this map you can see the map of Germany. So the blue here is majority AFD areas, and then the red is majority CDU, and then there's some SPD, some, and Grüne here, and it almost matches perfectly the division of the Germans during the Cold War, that the East Germans voted for AFD, whereas and the West Germans, who didn't suffer through communism, they voted for more transnational liberalism and all that stuff. I don't know. It's just I think this demonstrates very well why democracy doesn't work. That a lot of people seem completely incapable of using their imaginations in a practical manner. Like if they haven't suffered through something, or their family members who haven't told them about how bad it was during communism or something, it's like, oh yeah, let's have more of that, but just make it gay this time, which is even worse. And yeah, this is the young voters from 18 to 24 years old, I believe. So German Zoomers might be the most politically polarized generation in history. So yeah, because the most popular party among the young voters was Linke, which is the left. I think Linke just means left. 27%, and then the second most popular was AFD, 21%. So they are supposedly the polar opposites, even not really, if you look at who's the leader of AFD, but still, in some sense, they at least supposedly represent the polar opposites. And yeah, this I don't know, is it a beautiful woman? Is Die Linke, I they got 9% of votes. Yeah, the party. So I wonder if this person got, or is it? Can I call that a person? Did they get elected? I haven't checked. I do. I'm sort of afraid to find out the truth. And yeah, the plurality of LGBT Germans voted for AFD. Notably, the head of the party, Alice Weidel, is a lesbian woman. Yeah, yeah. So, like, it makes sense that they would, because the other parties are probably very pro-Islam, whereas AFD is not. So that's why, yeah, I can really understand why, if AFD is, wants to sort of de-Islamize Germany, which is, a good thing, but I don't think they necessarily want to Germanize Germany enough, if you catch my drift. But yeah, voting intention of 60,560 German users of Romeo, a gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and non binary dating app. All users in Germany were sent an in app message inviting them to participate. So, yeah. Why is Romeo a gay app? Was Juliet trans all along? I didn't know. And yeah, there's more of the beautiful women of Die Linke. Plurality of German Zoomers voted for this. And this is an ad from Die Linke. Trans people exist, billionaires shouldn't. And somebody pointed out, like, why is it in English? Like, if it's a German political ad. It is strange. Well, at least, maybe they want Germans to be able to say in a few decades, at least we are not speaking German. They can say that in Arabic or something. Okay, let's move on to the next story. Not this one, this one. So Zelensky, Trump says naughty things about Zelensky. Oh no, Zelensky is falling out of favor. It's tragedy, truly, truly. Uh, so first, well, there's this interesting tidbit about his ancestry. Did you know Zelensky's grandfather was a communist colonel in the USSR's Red Army? He was a Bolshevik. These people slaughtered and starved 11 million Ukrainians. Is Zelensky here to finish what his grandfather started? Like, that's certainly been my impression of Zelensky's actions since the onset of the Ukrainian war. That if he really cared about the Ukrainian people, he would have done things very differently. Let's just say that. So Volodymyr Alexandrovich Zelensky was born to Jewish parents on 25th January 1978. Is that quite young in Kryvyi whatever. So yeah, his grandfather Semyon Zelensky served as an infantryman, reaching the rank of colonel in the Red Army. Yeah. So yeah, is it really some, I don't know, their generational thing? And yeah, anyways, Trump calls Zelensky a dictator as rift between two leaders deepens. So yeah, he called him a dictator because he didn't allow the election during the war and stuff. And some people have pointed out that it's not normal to allow elections during the war, but didn't US do it a few times during some wars and stuff? I don't know, but whatever negative moniker you can add to Zelensky, I'm happy with it. My personal beef, like my biggest one with this conflict, is that because of the Ukraine conflict, Finland joined NATO, and I've opposed NATO ever since I had any understanding what it is. if the conflict didn't happen, if Zelensky would have, I don't know, surrendered or something, then probably Finland wouldn't have joined NATO. I'm just waiting for the US aid. And of course, the reason Zelensky and this establishment was in power anyways was because of the US color revolutions. Like, isn't the US aid stuff like sort of, hasn't it sort of confirmed that already, like officially? So, in that sense, you can see even Putin liberating or attempting to liberate the Ukrainians from the US puppet state. Of course, it's not the best way to do it because it has led to lots of death on both sides. And I don't support, uh, you know, regular people, whether they're Russian or Ukrainians, to be killed in some stupid war. But anyway, so yeah, I don't want to read all this stuff, but yeah, Trump is shitting on Zelensky. That's good. I agree with the the general sentiments. He's been well, he is an actor, so yeah, even more than most politicians. Okay, so what do we have here? And then there's the Saint Clair. What's her name? What's her first name? I forget already. The woman who has Elon Musk's baby. Saint Clair schemed to seduce Elon Musk. So there's a bunch of stories. I'll try to go through them quickly and stuff. So first, Laura Loomer says that I'm not going to read the whole thing. That that supposedly because yeah, Ashley is her name. Ashley St. Clair. She leaked the story about having Elon Musk's baby, or allegedly having his baby. Like, was it on Valentine's Day or just after Valentine's Day? Uh, and But supposedly some pics were uploaded by New York Post already February 2nd this year, before she even, yeah, 12 days before she made the announcement. But apparently it is not true. So Laura Loomer here fucked up, but just to point out the mistake. So here you can see it's like 2 2025 02. So she interpret this to mean like it's the February 2nd 2025. But I saw some, Krasenstein point out even her mistake, that the two here probably doesn't refer to the date, that it's just some, I don't know, archiving number. So they don't archive the date this website was created. Or I think it's just this picture that was uploaded. And for one, it doesn't, like, even if this picture was uploaded on that day, doesn't mean that there was any kind of big scandal there, except that they probably knew about the baby already, and they were already like preparing to write the article or something. But here it's, she sort of Laura Loomer implies that Saint Clair, she conspired with New York Post before her admission. But yeah, here's a community note pointing out that the two here doesn't, yeah, is like today is discarded. So yeah, this isn't worded the best, but yeah, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily, yeah, posted on the 2nd of February. And yeah, here it says that the metadata is, says that it was taken February 15th. So yeah, so Laura Loomer screwed up. Anyways, but then yes, post that age like fine milk. So Ashley St. Clair saying, if women get to have the right to abortion, men should have the option not to pay child support. Yeah, I hope she, actually puts her money where, or her lack of money where her mouth is, and doesn't get any child support money from Elon Musk. And Here is saying that yeah, the Saint Clair, she was a planned honey trap. Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's see what's Lee's Kronk in here say. I call this Ashley St. Clair took photos of self-destructing messages with Elon Musk with a secondary device. This shows blatant premeditation with malicious intent. Imagine what else she did that we don't know about yet. No doubt she illegally recorded other conversations, planted bugs at his place, and worse. It must be a criminal investigation, and all her little pals should be scrutinized and looked at closely too. People need to understand the great lengths a spy or an intelligence asset will go to for an intel operation. Especially black hats, as they have no morals. There are spies that will even go as far as marriage and having children with their target who they are not in love with for the mission. This has been happening forever and going back to World Wars One and Two. Yeah, I like the way she thinks. She's, um, she doesn't pull any punches. She's not like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but yeah. And here is Ashley St. Clair. There is no sin as cruel as alienating a child from a parent, seeing so much of this everywhere. And she's trying to get sole custody of the child, suing Elon Musk or something for that. And the quartering has been, quite on the offense in this, like, attacking St. Clair, which is good. Like, uh, I've watched a few quartering videos back in the day, not really in at least a year or anything, but and he used to be a bit too centrist and lukewarm, but at least now I like the way I like the cut of his jib, as they say. And yeah, here is the Ashley St. Clair hits Elon Musk with paternity suit seeking sole custody of 5 months old son. Yeah, how are those congratulations from conservative Twitter looking like now? It's always about the money. The quartering says. Well, I don't think it's simply about the money. It's certainly also about the money, but it's also about other political weaponry you can gain from it. Uh, and here is in May 2023, Ashley St. Clair asked me for tips on being funny because she wanted to seduce Elon Musk and have his rocket babies. This Isabella Moody here is claiming. So really not sure why the term blue checks has become an acceptable label for a marginalized group. Please, for the sake of tolerance and inclusivity, use check marks and checks of color. Ha ha ha. Thank you. So, and she's asking, bro, is this funny? Yes, haha, love it. So this is Ashley St. Clair is asking Isabella Moody. The pressure is on now. I have to be funny. Elon followed me. I need his rocket babies. Lol. So yeah, you know, you can interpret whether she's an intelligence as a spy or just gold digger. But either way, she's this stuff makes me sympathize more with Elon Musk. Like he's the victim at this. Like he was dumb if he really did impregnate her and stuff. But at least he was victimized. At least according how the narrative looks right now. So Ashley St. Clair literally ran to Elon deranged leftist Taylor Lawrence to smear Elon. Okay, I think Quartering was a bit too excited when he wrote this. That's your base trad conservative queen con inc. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, Taylor Lawrence is some leftist journalist something, and she gave her some story, I guess. Yeah, here is the rocket babies thing again, and yeah, and he 10,000% saw my moon landing tweet. Look, I'll take one for the team. Seduce Elon and get in a rocket to see what's up. Oh yes, you must for the sake of society. I need a caption to seduce Elon Musk thinking about the dangers of AI. Yeah, so Isabella Moody says, I wasn't going to post this, but now that St. Clair has leaked her private signal messages with Elon Musk after lying and saying she wanted privacy, there's more evidence Ashley planned to baby trap Elon. Yeah. I would like to, Quadring says, I would like to offer one time get out of mocking free card to Chernovich, Jack Posobiec, Hodge Twins, Mike Pence, Cyber. I have no idea who this is. And other voices in the conservative community. This, of course, is an exploding offer lol. Tomorrow's videos are going to be hilarious. Yeah. And Ashley St. Clair provides her signal messages with Musk in paternity lawsuit. So, yeah. Hi, cutie. I guess Elon Musk is EM. See you soon. I want to knock you up again. Okay. Uh, I feel like a lot broke down when Jerry got involved. He said a lot of pretty horrible things to me that he attributed to you, and I feel as though there was never a rift in our relationship before that. If you are in New York or if you like me to come to DC, really would appreciate being able to speak to you in person. I care about you deeply and feel as though third parties have put a major rift in our relationship that I truly wish was better for the sake of our son. Okay. Well, do we have Legion of Kids to make? But yeah, here Beardson. I don't really know who Beardson is. Like, I know that people mention Beardson here and there, but I don't really know who he is. But he says here, every conservative that congratulated Ashley St. Clair needs to be put on the list. Yeah, I completely agree with that. You know, simply so like sort of to remind what sort of people they are, like how much their values matter to them. And here's another leak from Elon Musk's and St. Clair's email exchange. So Elon here says, I get credible death threats every day. I'm number 2 after Trump for assassination. Wake up. This is not the time for sentiment at the expense of safety. If I make a mistake or insecurity, R will never know his father. I guess that's the kid. That's why the father spot on his birth certificate is blank right now, E, and why he has my last name. Necessary for now, only the paranoid survive. I understand. Apologies if Eva's text upset you. There has been incredible discretion used here as will continue to be. The threat level will reach insane levels until the election is decided. Loose lips sink ships. So yeah, some people pointed out that reading Elon Musk's messages here actually makes them sympathize with him because he was, actually worried about his safety and all that stuff, and the kids' safety and everything else. So yeah, it also shows she had no regard for or concern for the safety of her baby daddy. Yeah. Like, of course, this could be even some act from Elon Musk as well. Like, you don't know, but at least maybe give him the benefit of the doubt here. So, and yeah, Fun Revenant says, fun game you can play right now. Search BigCon accounts for Ashley St. Clair. See who exactly is responsible for astroturfing Smashley into the E right. Yeah, so there is Jack Posobiec, Ashley St. Clair tells Jack Posobiec the issues behind big birth control. So yeah, he was promoting her. Yeah, okay, this is just Posobiec, Jernovich, yeah, Bannon, Posobiec, Kirk, Taliber, Bauer, Ashley St. Clair, people like that get it. They understand the moment. I don't know, just this sort of I don't like high school clique mentality. It's so inorganic. Yeah. So yeah, please, there are many lessons to be learned because I'm not one for celebrity gossip because this goes beyond that because it is presumably she is some sort of Mossad spy, and how at least there's definitely a gold digger, and it also exposes many of the so-called conservative influencers as fraud. So this story has very significant implications, and this is not related to Saint Clair, but so Grimes, Musk's ex-wife, begs Elon Musk to respond about our child's medical crisis on X, alleging that he's ignoring her requests. So yeah, I don't know what sort of medical crisis it is, but she said, please respond about our child's medical crisis. I'm sorry to do this publicly, but it is no longer acceptable to ignore the situation. This requires immediate attention. If you don't want to talk to me, you can please designate or hire somebody who can, so that we can move forward solving this. This is urgent, Elon. So, unless she's, just making a fuss about nothing, then it is sort of like, well, why is Elon ignoring the issue? But yeah, she deleted her those. But yeah, she did say that um, somewhere Grimes said like her her she deleted her messages because she was getting shadow banned or something like that. Yeah, some people claim that, like, if you try to search for her name on the search bar, it wouldn't appear there, like her handle or anything. But it's possible they misspelled it because the ending is easy to mess up because it's ZSZ crimes. But whatever, that's. I just hope they took care of the issue, whatever it was. I think it's time to move on. Yeah, it's now time to move on to the next story. So the Pope is sick, and as far as I know, he's not, like, at least general sentiment is that people don't expect him to recover, but maybe he doesn't. And I'm not a fan of this particular pope, certainly, but I guess I still have to respect the office enough, even though I'm not Catholic or anything, but to wish him recovery or something. Uh, but like and he should be still alive, but people are already discussing, like, when he's gone, who's gonna be the next pope. And I don't know if he's gonna, maybe he's gonna be the pope still for 5 more years, but I doubt he's gonna be pope more than 5 years from now. I'm gonna make that prediction that so I need, some people say that since he's been a bit of a woke pope, that maybe the next one will be more conservative. But I do watch some conservative like Catholic YouTube channels, and they say that that's not likely. That is likely the next pope will be as left leaning as Bergoglio or Francis, or maybe even more. So we'll see what happens. Let's get to the gaming news then. So yeah, there's a few different news. Damn. Okay, there's Dauntless is shut. This game Dauntless, I don't even know what game it is, but it's shutting down May 29th. Will be unplayable after shutdown. I forgot to check, like, why was it shut down. Like, there was I saw some video, sort of, like, I heard it, that there's some really strange fuckery around, but it's just, yeah, it's gonna be a dead game. And we'll see if Ross from Ross's Game Danger, or the Accursed Farms, if he's gonna make a dead game video about Dauntless, and then maybe we'll find out more in detail why. But No idea what the game is about, or if it's good or bad or anything. But hey, a dead game is a dead game. R.I.P. But there's Avowed. It's commercial success. So here it points out, many other older games that have hundreds of thousands of players currently are playing them, but then Avowed has less than 10,000. And but the company BioWare, or is it no Obsidian? Obsidian claimed that it's a success. So Avowed is reportedly a success for the developers. They are already planning either a DLC or a sequel. So yeah, Bloomberg Obsidian said it is happy with Avowed sales so far. So it's like, and hey, I've been streaming the game, I've been playing it, and I have to give credit where credit is due. It's much better than I expected. It's mediocre, and for the most part, I've enjoyed it. But it's probably just because I haven't really played any first person 3D action RPG in a while, so it feels, I don't know, fresh for me. Like and the combat and the exploration is fine. It's just the story and the writing are quite mediocre. Let's just put it that way. And I'm a bit disappointed that the dialogue and stuff isn't more cringe, so it's not even funny in that sense. It's just a bit like meh, whatever. Um, but I guess the main reason I want to talk about this is that because the a story of two woke games that came out, recently. Because the other one is, of course, Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance, and based on what I've known, Kingdom Come 2 is gameplay wise, it's a much better game, superior to Avowed. But like personally, and Avowed, I think the dev said something like white people shouldn't make games and stuff. So it is completely woke. And oh yeah, there's also this story that apparently Avowed is banning users for engaging in anti-DEI behavior, which is not allowed on their Steam forums. But this is actually, one thing I can respect about Avowed is that at least they're being honest about their beliefs. Like, I knew, like, when I first heard about the game, it's that some woke new game from Obsidian and stuff. So my expectations were, low to begin with. Whereas, Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance, it was, the original was supposedly very historically accurate and without any forced woke elements in it. But then the sequel suddenly has, like, even though maybe it's a very small portion of the entire game, but it personally, at least, it offends me more. What they did with Kingdom Come 2 instead of what Avowed did, because Avowed is, always wore the wokeness on their sleeve. So it's, they're not trying to like subversively sneak some messages to you, because you should know what you're getting if you play the game. But certainly I don't support people buying it for, paying $70 for that game. Definitely not. But it's like, if it happens to fall from the back of a truck and you play it, it's not that bad in my opinion. um but whereas, Kingdom Come 2, it's I find it, much more insidious the way they did it, which I'm not a fan. It's like, it's sort of pointless to complain, like, you see, go to a gay parade and then you're like, oh, there's gay people here, which is like Avowed. But because there's like, of course there's going to be gay people in a gay parade. But but if you're going to I don't know, historical reproductions, medieval market or something, and then that looks more like a gay parade, then it's like, what's going on? If you get my drift, catch my drift. So that's why, I'm more concerned about the Kingdom Come to Deliverance, because I think they were much more sneaky about it. But let's go to the What was this? Ah, yeah, this is still. And also, comparisons of Skyrim and Oblivion, how it is very simplistic, and you can't attack the NPCs. If you shoot an arrow to the wall, it disappears in 2 seconds, whereas in Skyrim, things react and stuff, which is like, yeah, it's certainly, it's inferior to many older games in many ways, but it's still, despite that, like, if your expectations were as low as mine, it's still a surprisingly playable game. But then there's this Assassin's Creed Shadows news. So the game was supposedly leaked online, and people are streaming it a month before the official release date. So yeah, I don't know. It's becoming more and more funny. Like, somebody almost should make a movie about this game. Like, maybe 10 years down the line, it's gonna be a great comedy documentary or something like that. Okay, it's the gift that keeps on giving, and it's not even out yet. And then there's this upcoming Mecha game, Mecha Break, and you can see the characters here, how they look. Make simple PvP game, add ass sliders, instantly popular. It's really that simple. It's like, yeah. And here's a video of it. I don't want the music or anything, but yeah, you can see, I think it looks nice. I have no idea about the gameplay, but yeah, it's, nice visuals. However, uh, so yeah, Mega Break demo reaches over 300,000 peak players on Steam, but reviews are not doing very well. So yeah, apparently bad reviews are due to anti-cheat expert Ace requires manual removal after game install. So uses kernel level anti-cheat expert Ace requires manual removal after game uninstall. Another low effort Chinese copycat game that just installs spyware on your machine. Thanks. Steam tells you that that it needs to be manually uninstalled. This shit would be on the PC for a while. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just wonder, like, if you download the game and you play it, let's say you play it like once a week, every Friday you play a couple of hours of the game, and so will the anti cheat kernel thingy, will it be doing stuff on your computer while you're playing other games, or I don't know, doing your taxes or whatever you do with your computer? Like, it sounds a bit sus, right? And that's when we go back to this, like, like, I do like games that have characters that look like this or that, these, they look nice, but partially also when I see stuff like this, nice looking female characters, it's like my spidey senses are tingling, and some other senses might be too, but it's like, my impression is usually when they try to gain your attention with this sort of um, aspects of the game, that they're trying to hide some other factors, such as this, that they want to hijack your data, or they maybe the game itself simply isn't that good, and they just want to have some eye candy, so people will be interested in it. So yeah, that's why I'm always a bit sus. Like, I was sus about Stellar Blade before it came out, but supposedly it's a decent game. So it's not like it's always just means that some booty is means that it's automatically, like, just trash that has nothing else to offer except the nice visuals. But then let's see here. So Grok 3. So there's a new version of Grok, the Twitter AI, just built a full 3D multiplayer game. So I haven't really checked into this. Like, what does it mean that Grok built the game? Like, did somebody just tell Grok that make me a game, and then it's like, okay, wait for 10 seconds, and then he gave the X file that you have to download, and then you can load the game, or what, or did it give advice to somebody, and he has to, or the code, and has to like copy paste it to a notepad and create a file for it himself, or what it exactly means, I'm not sure. But I do, find the idea very intriguing, because I don't know shit about programming, but certainly I've often dreamed about making a game, and like if AI could handle the coding and stuff, and I could just make a game, that the game I want to make, or other people like me, that might actually be cool. That of course, this game looks like generic slop, and that nobody really would want to play this, unless it was the only game they owned. But with if you have human ingenuity with AI's fast coding ability or something, it might actually create really good games. People that don't have access, or the money to whole studio and stuff to make games. And was this Windows 10 is saved? Masgrave, an elusive teen behind some of the most effective Windows and Office activation tools, has added a new weapon to its arsenal. The TS Forge activation method can permanently activate many Windows and Office versions. It can also provide users with a convenient way to access Windows 10 patches beyond October 2025. So a hacker group releases updated tool to activate almost all modern Microsoft software. The MAS project is donation free because profiting from piracy is not good, the pirates say. I guess that sounds good. Like personally, I don't really share the sentiment that many Windows 10 users say that, oh, 11 is so horrible, because I already think that Windows 10 is horrible. Like I liked Windows 7, and I'm sad that it doesn't get updates. So I wonder if this could be applied to Windows 7 as well, to for it to get updates. Then I'd be super excited. And ex Amazon gaming vice president said they failed to compete with Steam despite spending loads of time and money. We were at least 250 times bigger. We tried everything, but ultimately Goliath lost. So yeah, there's like some Amazon had some Amazon gaming, um, I don't know, division or something. And for 15 years, they attempted to challenge Steam and to get on, steal their market or something, and they failed. But it's like here it says, finally we built Luna, a game streaming service that let people play without a high-end PC. Google tried the same thing with their product Stadia. So I didn't even I know about Stadia, and I already hated it when I heard about it from from the get-go. Like the idea seemed really bad, and then when it was it a year later, or even sooner than a year later, when just completely Google abandoned the whole thing. But I had no idea about Luna. Like it's possible I heard about it when it came out, but it went in through one ear and out the other. But it's like a joke. Like I know that New World, that was an Amazon game, right? Like did they do it, and then they had some Korean, was it Lost Ark? Like they sort of just ported it over a Korean game to the West. This is like, I don't know how they fuck, if they were at least 250 times bigger. How did they look so small? Like who really knew what they were? And I guess they gave up then, the Amazon Prime Gaming. I don't know. It's like these people like hire me. I don't know shit about business and all that stuff, but at least I know something about games and what gamers like and don't like. And I can always, look what people say online, like actual gamers, instead of, or listen to YouTubers and stuff who actually understand something about gamers. But I guess these people are completely out of touch. I just don't get it. This, I think it is a sort of old news, but 14% of North Americans still play gaming systems released before year 2000. That's I like the percentage. It's pretty good. So yeah, industry facing record layoffs instead of buying games and supporting devs now when they need it most. Gamers are now turning their backs on devs and moving towards retro gaming. How do we reverse this trend? This could literally cause the collapse of the entire Western AAA gaming industry. Oh my God! Please tell me, say it ain't so. It's like, well, I'd like to say I wish I could say I'm contributing, but no, I'm not North American. But I wonder if because I haven't. It's probably been a few years since I actually played a system made before the year 2000. But I certainly played games on emulator from games from the 90s and even 80s. I've streamed a few such games like Amiga CD32 and PlayStation and what's the Japanese weird computer like it's like PC Engine but not PC Engine. But I don't know. I'm too tired. The name escapes me. But anyways, I've certainly played emulated games from before year 2000. So yeah, I do because one reason I'd be completely fine with the collapse of the gaming industry is that as long as we have internet, even if let's say every game store, even if Steam goes down and you cannot download anything from Steam, you could still find the game somewhere online, and there are enough games in existence as long as you can still find them somewhere on the internet that you cannot play every even decent game in the world if you actually want to play complete them, or at least play a good portion of time. Like there's just too many games already in existence, so even if nobody made any new games for a decade, we still have plenty of games to play. Like, of course, I hope that there will be great new games coming up, but most of the games being released nowadays aren't great. Some are, like there are still some pretty good new games, but could be much better. But yeah, and with that, we can get to the why I really don't like the games industry, why I've been wanting to see the games industry collapse for 15 years at least. There was a concept called replay value once upon a time. Yeah. Well, I guess you can say that these live service games that many developers prefer nowadays, at least they have replay value. Like they expect you to play Fortnite or something for the rest of your life, and that's also, I guess, that's a bit too much. Like it's nice to be able to finish a game and leave it behind, and maybe you can get back to it 5 years later. But anyways, this is horse armor ruins the gaming industry forever. Exactly. Even that, some people, because I've used the same argument before, that at least personally for me, like horse armor symbolizes the rot of the gaming industry, which started years before wokeness was a thing. But some people have pointed out that EA was already doing worse things and stuff, and maybe it's true, but I wasn't paying so much attention to EA back then, um, or what they did. But this is like, yeah, I remember when the horse armor that you had to pay, is it $5 for a horse armor? It's just cosmetic from in Oblivion, and the sad part is that I guess a lot of gamers actually paid them the money, and that's why we are overwhelmed nowadays by DLC, like because consumers are too happy to consume whatever slop they are being fed. So this it's not simply the industry that's the rotten. It's the state of the gamer. We need I don't know, spiritual reformation. Yes, reformation for gamers. But I guess that's a good way to end things, since that was the last news story I had. But yeah, I guess summarize. Still, I think the most important story is Epstein files from this week. They really should be released, but I have my doubts that they ever will be. At least not properly. Maybe in some redacted form or something, or altered form, maybe, but not like, naked and truthful. But hey, we can always hope. But that's it. I'm Adventure Argonaut. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.